well, maybe I'll leave you breathless if you haven't been to this part of town in many years. There was a time I used to come here, wait for these guys, they're spawning. There was a little square here, like a little park kind of, you know. There's a bench there, would sit there, scrap! Anyway, this is not about scrap. But yeah, they spent years, man, building this elevator and enclave and underground like passage to the station. And oof. Anyway, yeah, on the corner of Saint-Henri and Saint-Jacques, which I've mentioned many years ago before, over and over again, like a broken record. But Saint-Jacques was actually really used to be called St. James Street. And James, of course, means a lot to me because James was the name of my father, James D. McFall. Passed away, unfortunately, almost 20 years ago. Anyway, what's happening, guys? I think we're the 24th today. It's Tuesday, 24th November, 2025. Getting closer to my birthday. Oh, by the way, I'm glad Grant reminded me so many times. That's why he's my great friend, because the guy he's very intuitive. You know, he's like, you know, if you're going to ask people to send you tips, gratuities as I call them, do it at the beginning of the video, because that's when people are mostly watching and fall off, usually halfway, like most videos, and hardly anybody watches till the end. So yeah, and I had this idea. I wanted to do a walking video, even though of course this was this was actually not a bad day. It was kind of overcast, mostly cloudy, but mostly it's been shite the whole month. Just terrible, just cloudy, just really typical dark freaking November weather, but worse. Fire station 23. But we're not going to stay here. We're going to start moving along here west on Saint-Jacques because well, you know me, I'm not going to say it because some people are, you know, sensitive to that shit. There's the CN line over here. But you know, I'm a coffee drinker, so what goes in, you know. Right. So I'm going to go to a spot there where all that graffiti is in that wall and that path that's next to the CN train line, which we're pretty much walking along with here. And by the way, I want to add, actually, many years ago, I would say probably about 10 years ago, one of my probably my favorite video I ever did of a severe thunderstorm happened here in July. I was with Ben. He got scared and he went underneath here. But like I said, this is all open, like any kind of subway entrance, exit, you know, except it was a wide staircase. Wasn't like New York. And there's the public pool. Anyway, understandably, but you know, even me, I got scared at one point because the lightning came so close. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get hit. So I was filming from over there, the kind of like an overhang of the roof, and there's these blocks of cement. You could sit there next to the windows of the pool. And anyway, I kind of ducked there. I got pretty freaked out. So yeah. You know, I'm assuming a building that's this old and has these Greek columns had to have been a bank, right? Of course, how many of these kind of buildings still exist as banks today? Because banks usually move on to other places where there's money to be made. Even though this area, like a few areas in Montreal, like my area, is becoming gentrified. And there's a Metro Saint-Henri metro station here. And okay, I had to stop recording there for a few seconds because this guy's blurring whatever music, modern music I don't get or understand. Didn't sound horrible though, actually. Like I said, I think the worst music it can torture me with, frankly, is the modern day hip hop. You know, it's all like fuck this and fuck that, and you know, this N-word and that bitch and hoe and screw her and all that. And it's just a bunch of bullshit malarkey. It's nothing new, it's just worse. There's no originality to it. Even my friend, I'd like to give a shout out to my great friend, who I've never met, one of my longtime fans, Mr. Kel Al Johnson out in New York, who's in his 20s, and he's old school like me. His idol is Bob Marley. And I told him something recently, like I told a few people over the years. I noticed anytime here in the warmer months in Montreal, where you'd have cars driving by with their windows open, you could hear their music playing. And what was the artist I consistently always heard the most over the years, in any year? Those are beautiful windows. That's right, Mr. Bob Marley, the Prince of Peace. Never met anybody that doesn't like Bob Marley. It's like asking somebody if they don't like a pizza or they don't like chicken. Doesn't seem to exist. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that's weird. Look at that. Look at the gap between these two buildings. It reminds me, actually, I'm near a building. I think it was earlier this year. The whole goddamn thing went up in smoke. The whole bloody thing burnt. I don't remember if there was anybody killed. I hope not. Really bad. Just one of those things. I gotta check this for a second. This Napa store. I walked by here recently. It's not a big store. And even with my shitty eyesight, I can see on the shelf they have the typical color of spray paints. Oh yeah, geez, you see, I already derived myself from what I was saying earlier next to the fire station when I started. For crying out loud, my God, I'm dyslexic. Holy shit, man. So yeah, again, if you want to send me a gratuity, as I call it, a tip, you know, show your love, show your support, because you know what, I'm making like, what, 200 bucks a month, smacking them out thanks to the tax from Trump and all this bullshit, you know. Look at this place. Look how much this place has changed. This used to be a freaking post office, postal depot, excuse me. And I know because I took pictures of the old Grumman step vans they had here like 2012. Anyway, you can send me your tip, whatever it may be, $10, $250, $500, whatever it may be. Some people have more money than they know what to do with it. And I think enough of you guys have been watching my videos for the longest time. I am one of the most genuine articles you'll ever meet. And I'm proud, very proud of that, because again, there's so much bullshit today and exaggeration. It's baffling. Oh, look what's parking next to me. It's a Fiat. Fix it again, Tori. Anyway, we'll get away from that car. I knew a girl that had one of those little ones. Anyway, definitely rarer than that Civic. Of course, it's probably a piece of junk compared to that Civic, because those Civics are raining. You know, you put any Honda, you put 350,000 kilometers easily. Or I should say more than that, because I'm saying kilometers. And I can't remember what street this is. I'm sorry to say, I feel stupid. I don't remember what this freaking street is. Let's see if I can find out. How many times have I been on this corner? I don't even remember the name of the street. See, this is why I told people this year. I had a revelation that clearer than ever, that I've suffered from a learning disability my whole damn life. Whole damn life, man. You know, I stayed back an extra year in high school. I got kicked out of CJEP. I did some night school. I've had trouble with jobs, let go of jobs all my life. That's, of course, being bipolar, and I don't really think being Asperger or autistic, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but definitely learning disability. So if I'm asking for your help to help me stay floating alive here, it's much appreciated. Oh, baby, old school Honda Accord. Look at, speaking of Hondas, holy shit, speaking of freaking Hondas, this is exactly what I was talking about. These cars here are 350,000, 400,000, and I believe that's an EXI. Oh no, yeah, it's actually in very good shape. Looks like the one that was in my neighborhood, but because it's oh boy, she's rotted good though, eh? Rusted good. And really funny, because I'm always going through my old pictures more than ever on my computer especially, and I found a picture I took like, I don't know, 2009, 10, and the Honda Accord, exactly this generation, 1990 to 1993. The rust here out on the rear wheel well was phenomenal, and the guy had tied like an electrical cord, like an extension cord, to the bumper and the fender. It was that rusted out. Still good to see though. Good old Honda Accord, like I said, 1990 to 1993. Those are the most beautiful Honda Accords ever made, 1986 to 1993, and a lot of people would not argue with me on that. Would not argue with me on that at all. So we're going to be approaching here the street called De Courcelles, not De Courcelles, but De Courcelles. And I'm going to go there and, like I said, do what I got to do. And then hopefully you're going to film maybe a freight train. I was lucky in my area in Hochelaga. I went near the port there on the St. Catherine Street Bridge. Rue St. Catherine, Le Pont. And I got actually a couple of solo CPKC engines, which is kind of weird. They came out of the port and didn't come out with a load, which was strange. I had to kind of wonder if they might have been a problem with one of those. Oh, there's a truck coming. What do we got coming? It sounds good to me. That's an old truck. I hear it. Where is it? Sounds good. Where is she? Ah, I don't know what it was. It sounded good, like maybe a Sterling or something. There was a guy around here many years ago, parked over here somewhere. The guy was driving, I think, almost daily, like a 50 Dodge or a 49 Dodge. It was dark red. Yeah, really something. It takes a lot of balls to do that today, you know? Especially in a city like New York and other cities. There's too much congestion, too much traffic, too many people, too many chances of overheating, too many chances of a fender bender, yada, 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 yada. Residents, old folks residents. That's a nice touch with the white picket fence, eh? Not going to be the best video in terms of quality due to the darkness. GoPro is not amazing in the darkness, but there's enough light to make it happen, so that's what we're doing right now. And again, because using my phone is fucking shite in the dark. And did I leave you my email to send me a tip or a gratuity? And I just keep talking about it and derailing myself because you know, I'm proud to do these videos. I'm excited, you know, I got too much to say. I'd be the worst witness possible to something usually. But ELTONMCFALL@hotmail.com. Once again, Elton, like Elton John, McFall @hotmail.com. Or you can contact me on Messenger and Facebook. You can find me. And I could leave you my email again, just so you know that you're not getting gypped there. You know, I hate scammers. I hate people take advantage of people, take advantage of the system. It's, you know, like these people that scam old people over the decades now. It's been going on ever since the advent of telemarketing. It's so sad. You hear about people they lost 28,000, that's 100,000. Oh, here we are at the Rue de Courcelles. Look at all the cars here at the light, eh? See, that's the thing. It's funny about that's a, you know, I don't know if I ever mentioned before, but that's a very typical autistic trait, is just to say things that are very obvious. Even in case in point in one of my favorite movies called The Royal Tannenbaum, with Gene Hackman, by the way, right? And there's a guy, there's Danny Glover's in the movie. He plays like some kind of a psychologist or something. He's got this guy with him who's autistic clearly, and they're outside of Gene Hackman's apartment building. Well, they don't say New York, but it's clearly New York. And the guy who's autistic, he says, "Oh, that car, that taxi has a dent in it, you know." Just like, who cares? Oh, the bells are ringing. Shit, the bells are ringing. Oh, it's a commuter. I can tell by the bell. Why is he ringing his bell, actually? That's weird. That's weird, actually. They don't usually ring the bell there. Is it commuter? I can't see. Maybe it was a freight. It's all black. I can't see anything. I can't tell you. I think it is a freight, actually, because I don't see any lights on in the passenger cars. Oh shit, it was a freight. Like, and all I can tell is going, oh yeah, he's going west. It's about time for a freight too. Shit. Well, I guess you'll get the unless it's a local, you get the some of that anyway in the video, so that's kind of cool. Kind of was hoping for that. Here, this building, the El Pro building, this building dates back to, it's over 100 years old, this building. Very old industry. And oh, look at that tree. And I filmed one of the oldest freight elevators I ever filmed in here. Oh my god, a long time ago. It's kind of ironic that there's a freight there, because I really got to go do my business, if you know what I mean. There's the canteen there. No, sorry, this used to be called Grumman 78 because they had a 78 Grumman step van. Used to be. It's, yeah, that train is right on cue, 5:30. Yeah, if one of you guys were really generous, you would send me $300 or something like that so I could buy another goddamn phone. This one, the screen is all cracked. You can't probably see that. Well, it's not all cracked, but almost half of it is. Pretty annoying. Well, there you go. A little Westmount freight action here in St. Annie. You guys get the bonus, baby. Oh yeah. Man, it couldn't even, that was definitely not an old locomotive, or old locomotives hauling all that, because it didn't even hear the damn thing. Never even heard the locomotive at all. That's crazy. Like I always say, by the way, stay away from trains. Don't get right next to trains. Don't train hop. Don't freaking dodge the trains with your car thinking you're gonna make it, or your pickup truck or whatever. Don't be stupid. Be smart. That reminds me, I don't want to go into it, but a few days ago, these three kids, two of them are brothers. They were like 19, 22, something right now. Two of them died because they crossed the tracks thinking there was no passenger train, and it was even more weird. It was at 3 a.m. on a REM line in the South Shore, and 1 week into the line that was extended into the West Island where I'm from, and they got hit by that train at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking there was no trains. You see, that's the thing I don't miss about being very young. Never assume anything. recording. There you go. So after that freight you just did there, me doing my business in that dark path there, which I wouldn't advise anybody to hang around there, that's for sure. Right next to the tracks on the other side there. So right after that freight there was a Via. Of course it was a Siemens. You couldn't hear the damn thing coming. It's dangerously quiet. And then just a few minutes after that I just filmed an EXO commuter train heading north. Good old F59 PH diesel power. And by the way, I forgot, there's a plane right there, and I forgot to mention, speaking of tips, I want to thank, there's 3 of you recently that sent me some tips. Martin gave me a very generous tip. Thanks a lot for that, Martin. And then there was Glen, who also sent me something, and I don't know why, somebody else, I can't remember right now who it was, and I'm sorry about that. I really feel bad. I know it's important, but again, it really means a lot to me though, seriously. And speaking of Glen, this road, we're going to walk north now. We're going to go into the opposite of this quasi, if not ghetto area, and go into where the wealthiest people live in Westmount, and just literally separated by the commuter train line, the other commuter train line, which used to be CP, of course. And we're going to go into the affluent area that I would not fit in. And of course just separated not only by that commuter train line, but running along that is Highway 20. And we're going to go through that really cool, not really a tunnel, but an overpass for the CP line. That's really cool. It's all stones and everything. Like it's made over 100 years ago easily. And might even be able to still see a streetcar track sticking out. I don't know, but it's an idea I had. Again, I don't know if it was when I left or before or whatever, but I said to myself, yeah, why don't I start doing a walk-in video on Henri and go across through that overpass into Westmount and maybe walk all the way to Sherbrooke. So basically the kind of like the opposite of yeah, it's really nice actually. Basically the opposite of what I did a few months ago in, I think it was in August or September. And unfortunately, being the pothead that I am and getting older, I can't remember the name of the street. Oh yeah, it was Green Avenue. So on Green Avenue, I did the same thing, but I walked from Westmount all the way into St. Henri. So again, pretty much night and day, like any city, you know. So, well, you know what building's really old too? Look on the inside too, it's all brick. Brick. Yeah. So yeah, and I should also point out too, interestingly enough actually, across the street there, that's a big home hardware store. Why did I say hardware twice? I don't know. I'm gonna go get the papers. But that actually used to be a at the time it wasn't called the STM, but it was called the CTCUM, and it was such an old garage that they had streetcars at the time, and it was called the MTC, the Montreal Transportation Commission. So this freaking condo here is like brand new in comparison. So again, to have a time machine, you know, to see all those streetcars coming out in and out of there, and those old brown buses, the Brill buses, Mack buses, all that stuff would have been a trip, man, I'll tell you right now. Matter of fact, I think even some of that structure, it might be original if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure about that. I know they left a few tracks there even. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I might go check that out actually. I don't know if those tracks were left there or they put them there on purpose. But it might be worth checking that out. Here back on Saint Jacques here. That's funny, I'm having to stop recording and something's responding. Yeah, sounds like a paramedic. Of course makes sense because the hospital is right there, the mega hospital's up there. I'm not zoomed in or anything. Where's your lights flashing? His lights aren't flashing. Yeah, okay. Oh no, it's an STM. Okay, you didn't, oh. I'm glad I caught that. That's cool, that was a first. I'm like, he had his red lights flashing and I'm like, where is he? He disappeared, he went into the hospital or whatever. No, he had his freaking, oh, there we go, now they're on. I don't know what the frig that was all about. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Happy to get that. Good timing! Because of what I do, timing is everything. It's imperative. Like if I see any classic cars parked on the street somewhere to film, or even something much rarer at a car show, for example. You know, it's funny, I catch myself sometimes talking to my friends on the phone and talking like as if I'm Italian, you know, and my arms moving around and hands. And, well, look at that. I had no idea. I hadn't been so long since I've been here at night that I didn't even know that it was all lit up over there under the 20. All right, this waiting business, okay, because whatever, this is Montreal. Everybody freaking jaywalks here. Something else coming? Could be an ambulance coming. There's a very good chance, unfortunately, that STM police there was probably going to either Lionel Gros Metro or Place Henri Metro, because it's rush hours, a lot of people, there's a lot of, you know what I mean, unfortunate people. I mean, I don't feel very fortunate because I was given bad eyesight and I'm a car fanatic and I can't drive them legally, technically, but hey, I got legs and I use them, goddammit. I'm always constantly reminded, living in the city, or even just where I live, about how people are wheelchairs and they're incapacitated and all that jazz, you know? And I probably filmed this before, but it's just neat, you know, for the fellow rail enthusiasts of trains, enthusiasts of streetcars. You know, again, I don't know for a fact if the tracks were always there, but there's an entrance coming up here, and it's bricks. Oh, and I hear the bells going off over there for the crossing again. Wow, look at that. They did a great job of like making the street as narrow as possible. Holy shit, look at that. And the street lamp just did. What are you dimming for? Paying a lot of money in taxes. Where the hell are those tracks now? Oh, they're not even here. For crying out loud, what did I walk over here for? But yeah, but that's original brick. Look, they lift all that. That's cool. Oh shit, they're not here? Wait a minute. And I think this building, this humongous building over here, was a factory, and it was for RCA, by the way, RCA Victor. How the hell would it? Forget it. Frig. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just, you know, again, I just like it. It's nice when you're really old school. You know, when you're really old school, or you're too old school, it's just nice when things stay the same, or things are preserved, you know, they're kept alive, kept there. You know what I mean? You know what's funny though, as much as I love filming the responses, in the last couple of weeks the weather's been so shit. I know, I'm positive that affects people's moods, and there's less responses, less people going out, people are more tired, so I didn't film like any fire truck responding. I haven't seen a fire truck responding in 2 weeks. So the moment I feel a fire truck responding, that's going to be it. I'm pretty much done for the last 2 weeks. You know, what are we doing on the battery? Oh, pretty good. I got another one anyway. Got 21%. This one, I got, I wonder if that's, I bet you that's a VIA. It's not a great place anyway to film trains at night. It's, the lighting is just not great. It's not great. Look at these guys wearing, look at these guys wearing shorts. It's like 6 to 7 degrees easy there. I'm wearing gloves. I got my winter coat on here. Like I said, ELTONMCFALL@hotmail.com. By the way, if you ever have any hesitation and you don't, you know, because I'm a great salesman, right? I'm so straight up. If you have any hesitation by any chance of what I make for a living doing the YouTube thing, I could actually send you proof of that through Messenger. And not only that, I mean, the stuff I sell on the side, business has been terrible. I mean, thanks again for you guys also, like Pat, who I did finish that painting for the Vendôme Metro station with the new look in the window. And also Evan, especially Evan and these guys, and Marlene, all you people who bought paintings from me regularly, like over the years. I mean, talk about being supportive. That's really also the best way to support me. You know, if you got $100 to spare, you know, I could do a 9x12 painting for you, something vintage. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I went the wrong way. Look, see? But I don't think that's original though, because I'm not positive, but it looks like as if the tracks are too far apart. I don't know. I'm not positive. It doesn't look like the right gauge. But then again, if the streetcar tracks were still visible here, you would actually could compare it, see that. But yeah, you got something old school. Like even that diner I painted for Jeff back in the summer. Oh yeah, no, they patched them up good. I don't see anything, eh? I see some cracks. But yeah, for the longest time, you could see the tracks coming out of the street here. Look at all the freaking traffic here. What is this? Oh my God. Where are all these people going? They're all going to the 20. That's where. They're all going to Highway 20. That's where. They're all coming from downtown. All of this here, all this whole overpass for Highway 20, it's only so many years old. I think it's like not even 10 years old. And look, it's already covered up with crap, garbage, bullshit. I always wanted to get a fire truck responding here though. Not here necessarily, but at the tunnel, like I said, the old commuter train tunnel. Something actually I'd like to do a painting of one day, come to think of it. Yeah. downtown, everything great when you're downtown. I'm sure I must have done a walking video of this years ago. I'm sure of it, but not at night. See, like I said, more than ever, I'm trying to do things differently. You used to be able to walk up that path over there, which went right to the hospital. Needless, not hard to see why they blocked that off the cars, you know. Power station here. I've got the power. Yeah. Mr. Porsche avoiding all the shittiness of the road, eh? That's funny. Me was looking for those streetcar tracks. Look how slow he's going too. I don't want to damage those friggin' rims. I can't imagine how much it was cost just to replace one of those wheels, man. Yeah, look at this. This is an old power plant. No, sorry, this is an old water filtration plant. That's cool. I've never even really noticed this at night before. No, it's part of a hydroelectric. Yeah, man, right on. Oh, they found me. Oh my God, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Where's the frickin' streetcar tracks, man? You can see now I'm just taking my time now because I'm looking here. Painted lines here all over the place. What a waste of money, man. Oh my God, I've said it before and I'll say it again and say it again. Oh my God, I hope the new mayor we have there, I hope really she doesn't piss our money away like Valerie Plante did, that crazy freaking bitch. Unbelievable how she made us all poor. It's just freaking mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. All these needless, stupid, you only need like this and the stripe and that's it. You don't need to make like bike lanes. People shouldn't probably even be biking here anyway, especially kids. People don't know better. People don't know better, should say, at side streets. You know? There it is. There's that beautiful, I guess it is kind of a tunnel. It's pretty wide. Again, it's like, how many CPKC tracks? There's probably 4 tracks up there, I guess. Again, I'm still trying to see if I can see, oh boy. I'm trying to see here if I can see a streetcar track. It doesn't look like it. You can see the crack there though. It's there. They're there. Well, now I probably should have, ooh, I like that truck. Yeah, man. Big bastard. Yeah, man. Comanche. Wait, is it a Comanche? Gladiator, sorry. But I'm happy though that back in the day when for decades that one of those streetcar tracks or 2 of them did show up here, I did get a shot of it, literally a ground shot from right about here, and you see all the bricks here, glorious bricks. Maybe that'll be a cue for me to do a painting actually. Now that actually gives me an idea now that I mentioned to you, because sometimes, you know, when you talk to people, you know, like a lot of times I talk to Grant and gives me ideas, you know. What's this? It's a bit dark, but whatever. Yeah, the old rat race continues, like I say, like I always say. Does it sound like a broken record? Because I'm a king of repetition, probably because I'm Asperger, which is a form of autism, and I've been filming cars, trucks, and buses almost every frickin' day for full time since the past 12 years, and I've accumulated over 15,000 videos, and I'm not well compensated for it, frankly. It's the bottom line. I can even hear the train bells even down there. Look at that. That's sweet. Very nice. Oh, there's a commuter coming over there. Shite. That was weird. That was weird because the train was going east, but all those signals looked like they were all red. Oh, whatever the hell. Probably see one going overhead anyway. You got 3 train lines running there. You got the Vaudreuil line, you got the Saint Jerome line, and you got the Candiac line. Sorry, Mascouche line, and anyway, you get the idea. Ooh, so now we're in the Westmount side of things here, and I'm going to catch my breath a minute. Okay, well, oh wow, this battery really drained fast all of a sudden. Now it's at 10%. Anyway, whatever. I'm pretty tired now, so I want to wrap this up here. I think we're going to walk up until Sherbrooke, which is just a few blocks north of here. Now we're at Rue Sainte-Catherine. We're almost actually at the end and beginning of Rue Sainte-Catherine, which is that way. up there. And there's green light here for us. And again, so this street, de Courcelles, now is Glen Road, which, because I'm an idiot, I thought was Lansdowne. I thought. There's a cop there. If you like pina coladas, make it love. There's one thing I don't like about Westmount. Their stupid traffic lights are freaking annoying. God almighty. So annoying, the traffic lights here. There's a few other things about this part of town that are annoying. How much do you think it costs for a place in here? Oof, got some cool lighting though. Yeah. This is the third Jeep I go by here. That's when you know you're in an upscale neighborhood, right? The more luxury cars you see, the nutty amount of Mercedes and BMW and Porsches and Jeeps and Land Rovers and Lexus and whatever. I don't want to be rich. I just want to, well, I'd like to be rich, but I'd like to be really more comfortable than anything. Just like I think a lot of people, because as the song used to go, more money, more problems. Which reminds me, unfortunately, you know, my favorite hip-hop star from the 90s was Biggie Smalls, but of course Biggie Smalls had his shit happen because of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs. So now, lately I'm listening to a few of those tracks and I'm like, man, I love that. Certain tracks from Biggie Smalls, but again, Biggie Smalls was a piece of shit asshole. And what happened with Sean Puffy Combs there, with all the abuse and exploitation of women and abuse, I'm like, it's not good. So it unfortunately, you know, it's like Bill Cosby or something. It leaves such a bad impression on you that it's hard to shake that off. You know, you can't, you know, it's yeah, it is what it is. Man, it's amazing. You know what's amazing about this part of town? Westmount is filled with old houses and old apartment buildings. Like, I'm looking at this one here and I'm thinking to myself, well, I was wondering if there was actually an old elevator in there, but right when you see the stairs, when you see the staircase right away, it's probably more like a nene. Yeah, so I think this is the Maisonneuve Street or Boulevard here. But that street actually continues into NDG, which is west of here. And what is that? What is this car? I can't make it out. I think it's an Audi. All lights point to green. All lights point to yes. And Vendôme Metro Station is right over there. Are we gonna finish this video on this single battery? I would say probably not. It's 5% left. My God, why is the freaking battery going so fast? Oh, look at that. Speaking of Land Rovers, that's kind of funny. Meh. Old building, modernized elevator. Yeah. Don't mind me just documenting your hood over here. Just showing how expensive it is. A plane overhead there, flying overhead. Like I said, ELTONMCFALL@hotmail.com. ELTONMCFALL@hotmail.com. You want to send me a gratuity through PayPal if you're American or beyond, but in Canada, of course, e-transfer is preferred. That's kind of neat. That's some really black walls, though. It's a freaking dull-looking building. That's almost looks like low-cost housing, honestly. So, I mean, look how regal and ornate all these beautiful old homes are in comparison. Ming, it's just like these cars today. They're just functional, you know. They just serve their purpose. That's about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm convinced the only reason why they suck in style and length and all the details because they make up in everything else. You know what I mean? Like, you have like your Bluetooth and you have your touchscreen control and autopilot and self-parking and all kinds of doodads you don't even really frequently need, for that matter. You know. But as nice as I always say for the last couple of years, as nice as all these old houses are, they all have something in common with my place, because they're all about probably 100 years old, like my place, give or take. And they always have these small freaking windows, and they're so dark in there. Even my parents' home was built in 1952 in Lachine, the same goddamn thing. It's just bloody dark in there. The only thing that's better about it is because it's a house, not like my freaking matchbox I live in. Let's see if I'm having a premonition before I wrap this up. It'd be great to get fire truck 76, 276 or 476, the ladder responding. since I am near that station. It is what time is now? I've lost track of time. Look at this beauty here, eh? Look at that. It looks like it could be anywhere in a small town or something. It's 6:04. 1800 hours. Got some nice Christmas lights here and speed bumps. Yeah. Well, I had suspected the 5% battery, 5% left in that lithium battery did not last in the GoPro. So we see we're really just at freaking Sherbrooke West. Okay, started recording for not even a minute with this spare battery, which is not charged, by the way. It's only got 32% battery. Anyway, I was saying that 2-3 years ago, I was with my friend Ed with his maroon 63 Corvair, and we're driving by this building. We were going near his dad's place, and this old lady, she fell on the ground over here, and right away Ed pulled over the car. We went to help her out and all that. And it's just the simplest things you can do in society to people. Hold the door for somebody, help an old lady cross the street, you know. Like, man, what was it, 2 weeks ago I was on Jean Talon in Park Avenue, and this old blind guy, this old blind man, he's freaking crossing the street.